and we will just dive right in. We are live. We always start with a land acknowledgement. Our regular reminder Lifeboat Academy update session. Before we were today is October 2nd. Continue to be here after we are gone, and everything that we just dive right need in to survive. We always start with a land acknowledgement comes from the land, a reminder that the land was here before we were. We start with a land acknowledgement. Continue to be here after we are gone, and everything that we as need to survive aspect of comes from the land, a larger environment to the land. So and we start with so we also acknowledge our connection, our place to and our debt as one aspect generosity and wisdom, a larger of indigenous cultures which have and in doing so we also are willing to share our connection to and our debt even to these days to the generosity. So as we of indigenous as we recognize that debt of gratitude kept to indigenous cultures and also to share it with us, even sets on our shoulders an obligation to live so as we recognizes that wisdom, as we recognize that debt of gratitude to indigenous cultures. It also with all of our relations, both human and sets on our shoulders an obligation to live in a way that recognizes that wisdom and displaced to be in right relations. So with that land acknowledgement, all of our relations, specifically acknowledge the Wasanic, who are the people who have been here on this territory for time immemorial, displaced, and who have cared for it for generations and generations. With that land acknowledgement, I specifically acknowledge the Wasanic, so who are the people who have been here on this territory for time immemorial. And who have cared for it. Talk about where we're each coming from and who continue to be the circle as I see it is Ronnie, Jen, Roland, and me. So with that, today, what aspect of the Life Academy, Lifeboat Academy has your attention? What talk about where we're each coming from to you? And the circle as I see it is Ronnie, Jen, Roland, and me. So our first today, what aspect of the Life Academy, Lifeboat Academy has
Wednesday,
your attention?
October 4th.
What are you
and it's being hosted by Coho BC, who are our I'm thinking about wonderful and courageous real estate agents this coming Wednesday, and I'm excited to see who shows up and how our project is received and what questions who are our over to wonderful and courageous real estate agents. And I'm excited to see who shows up and how our project is received and what questions people have.
What's in harvest time now, and so I'm thoughtful about how we establish food sovereignty, like the right amount to grow, the right foods to grow, the right conditions to grow it, and for as many people as it's needed for what's in harvest time now, and so I'm thoughtful about that. How we establish it on to Roland, like the right amount to grow, the right foods to grow, the right conditions to grow it, and for as many people as it's needed for.
The beginning of a new month.
Yeah, I've been thoughtful around that.
And which brings into relief what has my attention end of October is the beginning of a new month. And which can't think of the word into relief
milestone.
A milestone, thank you. The end of October is we're assessing the amount of the word people have signed on a milestone, thank you, become shareholders or in one way or another. We're assessing and it also brings to mind that the amount of the purchase of the people who've signed property on tender is shareholders, just one part of in one way or another as a whole. And it also and that brings to mind there's that all sorts of other exciting things that are happening. The property on tender is trying to keep just one part in perspective of the Lifeboat Academy as a whole. And with that, I pass and that there's all sorts of other exciting things that are happening for the Lifeboat Academy. So trying to keep that all in perspective.
Broadly speaking, there's clearly a seasonal transition happening. I think there's a transition in. Yeah, I think what has my attention the nature of our work transitions. We're starting to get more interest because of the outreach that we're doing. Speaking, so we have a lot of. There's clearly a seasonal fire happening. Like said, there's a transition all moving at the same time, and then we also have people moving as we're starting to get more interest because of the outreach that we're doing. Just also we have a lot of transitions happening, a lot of irons in the fire, like trying to adopt a lot of different pieces all moving at the same time. Sort of, and then we also have people curiosity and coming and going. So. So
just all sorts
with
of
that curiosity in mind, and go back to our slideshow and give you a quick update on
sort of Zen-like
happening
curiosity in how it will
so
unfold.
if this is the first time that you're stumbling on the Lifeboat Academy,
in mind,
just to bring you up to speed really quick, our slideshow, our goal is to build a quick update on interconnected lifeboats or to support the building. So if this is the first time that you're stumbling on the Lifeboat Academy, is a personal, just to bring you up to speed really quick, network. Our goal is to build the relationships of interconnected lifeboats or to figuring out the building. You can work together for more mutual benefit and support. A lifeboat is a personal, place-based resilience network. Ultimately, we recognize that there are going to be people who are a lot of different lifeboats, figuring out how you can work together for more mutual benefit, but how do we stay connected in these turbulent times? A network of networks, and ultimately we recognize that there are going to be figuring out a lot of different lifeboats of climate crisis, each developing for its own community. But how do we stay connected? So one of the big events as network of transitions is that we had our stewardship council meeting as we are figuring out what we do. We were able to present our proposed ideas for what the focus for the next couple of months. So one of the big events and get feedback from is that we had our stewardship council meeting. Much gratitude for everybody who was able to make it. We were able to present our several people showing up, even though they were feeling the focus for the next couple of months should be. So get feedback really from our esteemed colleagues. So much gratitude for everybody who was able to make it. And several people showing up, even though they were feeling a bit under the weather. And the plan is, so Ronnie was saying, giving it the second effort. So we're very appreciative of the time and the perspectives, connecting us with their communities. The main we can have a chance to talk about what it means to be a timeshare cropper. As Ronnie was saying, we want to on the Spalding Valley host or have co-host sessions where people are connecting us with their communities. Our second wave of we can have a chance to talk about what it means to be a partnering with a project called Regenerate Cascadia, Spalding Valley Farm, and we also taking a chunk of our time again in the spirit of figuring out how to reach out to other people's networks. And we've been partnering with a project we have going on Cascadia. And we've also continued to, we've taken really done a lot of work of our time, again, in the spirit of figuring out how to reach out to other people's networks and tell them more about what we have going on here. And we've also continued to, we've really done a lot of work on dive right in. We always start with a land acknowledgement as a reminder that the land was here before we were. The land will continue to be here after we are gone, and everything
looks fine on my
need
end.
to survive. On my slideshow comes from the land and ultimately returns to the land. So and we're also with the land we've done a lot of work on acknowledging our the CRM landscape, and basically our support system. One people who are expressing interest in a larger environment. And of course, we still have other articles in doing so. We also acknowledge our connection to and our debt. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Ronnie to talk a little bit about what we've been doing in terms of outreach of Indigenous cultures, which have kept this alive and are willing to share it with us.
We are easing into our second wave of outreach, which we're really focusing around the specific events that we have going on.
As we recognize that debt of gratitude
to invite people who might be interested into the project and to support people who are already involved.
Sets on our shoulders an obligation
more of a focus on
live in a way
out
that recognizes that wisdom,
larger foundations and organizations that might have access to
all of our
larger amounts of money
both human
to
and
help
more
us
than
sort of
human.
get
And
secure the property in the short term and then be able to sell shares more
displaced
a long-term
peoples.
timeline.
So with that land
we also have our first info session scheduled, which, as I mentioned,
who are the people
Wednesday,
who have been here in this territory for
at
time
7 p.m. And if you are on our email list,
for generations and
you will have
generations
received information about that. You can also follow us on social media, and we will be posting about that later today.
We will take
and we have a
little
couple other invites out to other folks who might
talk about
be
where
willing
we're
to
each
host
coming
sessions
from.
for us. And if you're watching
the circle,
this
as I see it, is
and
Ronnie,
you'd
Jen,
be
Roland,
interested
and
in
me.
hosting an info session for us with your
aspect
network,
of the Life Academy,
that would
Lifeboat
be really
Academy has your attention?
And there has been some forward progress on our website.
Ronnie,
we had a bit of a few weeks of a stall, and we're back in touch with our web designer, and we are making progress Wednesday on finalizing the website and our site. It's being hosted by Coho BC, who are our moving and grooving and wonderful and courageous real estate and back to Ben to talk about and I'm excited to see who shows up and how our project is received and what questions people have. Over
and I just wanted to add to that, if you are potentially interested in hosting an info session, it's really quite simple. We can do the presentation, we can host it
in harvest time now, and so I'm thoughtful about
in person if you happen to be near enough
the right
and
amount
that
to
works
grow,
for
the
you.
right foods to grow, the right
So
conditions
we
to
can
grow
take
it, and for as
most
many
of the
people
work
as it's
on.
needed for.
We just need you to connect us with your peeps who you think might be interested in what we're
I'll
talking
pass it on to Roland.
And so one of the things that has happened in the last week or so has been some change in plans around Regenerate Cascadia.
And
basically
which
just
brings
through
into
sort of
relief
some mixed communication, some
end of
confusing
October
communications, and some time limits. We've just decided that it doesn't make sense for us to host a stop on the Regenerate Cascadia tour, in part because I think we're finding that we're being a little bit more involved in some of the higher level planning, especially around thinking through developmental evaluation
shareholders
and thinking through
one way or another.
The online summit that's happening in early November.
That
so we're still heavily involved in the project. We're still there.
The property
hoping to
on
support
Pender
it.
is
But
just one part
what our
of
involvement
the
looks like
Lifeboat Academy
is
as a
changing a
whole.
little bit.
And that
likewise,
there's all sorts of other exciting things that are
story
happening
continues.
for the
Ronnie and I
Academy.
were able to host a navigation session
all
navigating
in perspective.
the attentions as part
and with
of
that,
the
I
Earth
pass
Regenerators
over to
Clearinghouse,
Ben.
and it was very, very warmly received. What has my attention is we think that there's a number of opportunities for how we can support, broadly speaking, Earth Regenerators. There's clearly a seasonal transition happening. Earth Regenerators is a model of a lifeboat. And the nature of a different kind of a lifeboat. We're starting to get more interest because of the outreach that we're doing. Tools and techniques that we're promoting. A lot of irons in the fire, like Roland said. We also have established our office hours and navigation, and then we also have people moving. Office hours are every day, Monday through Friday. There's just all sorts of some in the morning, some are in the afternoon, some are in the evening. Trying to as part of our outreach, we're promoting widely promoting those office hours. Curiosity, and they are an easy drop-in. So if you have any questions, you want to chat about anything, our slideshow, you just want to touch base and see how things are going, please feel free to stop by our office hours. So if this is the first time that you're stumbling on the Lifeboat Academy, alternating just to bring you up to speed really quick, Tuesday evening, our 7 p.m. to build a fleet of interconnected lifeboats or to support the building of a fleet of interconnected lifeboats. Excited to have those. A lifeboat is those new navigation sessions posted, resilience network, and we've done into the relationships and the people adding more materials to our help desk. How you can work together for updating their mutual benefit and support in these turbulent that's just going to be sort of an ongoing process. Ultimately, we recognize that there are going to be a lot of different lifeboats, talk about some comings and goings, each developing for its own community. But how do we stay connected as a network of networks, so that we can support each other as we are figuring out what we do in the face of climate crisis and social collapse.
So we're wishing him well.
And so one of the big events, speaking of transitions, is that we had our stewardship council meeting, and we were able to present our proposed ideas for what the focus for the next couple of months should be, and get feedback from our esteemed colleagues, and much gratitude for everybody who was able to make it. Several people showing up even though they were feeling a bit under the weather,
and then Brandon
so
also
everyone
came
really
for a
giving
visit.
it
He's a new
the second
intern,
effort.
and
So we're very
just in
appreciative of the
midst
time
arranging
and the
for his
perspectives.
visit
And
on the farm to spend
the
some more time
main
with us. So we're looking forward to
outline
that.
of the plan is,
Over to you, Roland,
as Ronnie was
for the
saying, we
next
want
person.
to host or have co-hosted sessions where people are connecting us with their communities.
So
where we can have a chance to
one of the
talk about what it
purposes
means to be a timeshare
these
cropper,
weekly
or how to get
updates is to
involved
also
on
let you know
Spalding
what
Valley
we're going to be
Farm.
working on over the
And
week.
we also need to
one
do
of the things
in
that we've already
conjunction with
mentioned
that,
is
our
actually
second
reaching
wave of
out to
outreach.
foundations.
We've been partnering
and
with
for
a project
that,
called Regenerate
we
Cascadia,
are working on our
and
pitch
that
to
is
be able
taking
to
a chunk of our time,
be clear
again, in the spirit of figuring out how
communicating
reach
to
out
them.
to other people's networks and
there's
tell them
also
more about what
something
we have going on here. And we've
clarifying
also continued to,
what we
really
mean
done
by
a lot of work
the
on our
sweat equity.
what just happened.
And so as people who are looking to be on the farm, and ways of for them to be able to
just dive right in.
Actually be part of the farm.
We always start with a land acknowledgement as a reminder that the land was here before we were. The land will continue to be here after we are gone. And
the other
everything
thing
that
is
we need to survive
scheduling and advertising
comes from the land and ultimately
more
returns
info sessions.
to the land.
So we're meeting with Coho.
So we start with
a
a land acknowledgement as a way of acknowledging our place in the landscape
Co-housing BC
as
and
one aspect
there are
of
a few other potential
a larger environment
info sessions with other groups,
and in doing
so,
so
we'll
we also
and advertising
acknowledge our
for
connection
those.
To and our debt to the generosity
continuing
and wisdom
to work on the
of indigenous
website. There are
cultures
things that we have
kept
to
us alive
provide
and are willing to share
web
it with
designer
us,
David, and
even to these
we
days.
are also working
And,
on finalizing
so as we recognize that debt of gratitude
we've
to
been
indigenous
developing
cultures,
with
it also
Poppy Punk Studios, who's got the greatest name
sets
ever.
on our shoulders
So
an obligation
our
to live
designer,
in a way
Kelly
that recognizes that wisdom
and
that seeks to be in right
Paul's
relations
Paul's been there
with
for a while, and we
all
have
of our
plans on
relations,
how to
both human
use
and more
the
than human,
area where
and
his motorhome had been parked. And so
displaced
there's
peoples.
cleaning up and preparing
with
that spot
land
for its
acknowledgement,
next
I specifically acknowledge the Wasanic,
and finally,
who are the people who have
continuing
been here
to do
on this
outreach to
territory
let people know about our office
and
hours.
who have
That's been
cared
going
for it
fantastic.
for generations and
People have been taking
generations, and who
advantage of
continue
it,
to
and
be
we really
here
appreciate
and
it. And we encourage
so
you to
with that
to
we
do so.
will take a little opportunity
There's also the new
to
dates for the navigation sessions. So they're
talk
going to
about
be,
where we're each coming from.
They are
And the circle as I
ongoing.
see it is Ronnie, Jen, Roland, and me. So
we're getting closer
today,
and closer
what
to
aspect of the Lifeboat Academy has your attention?
Ready for
what are you most thinking about?
for
Ronnie,
sharing.
to you.
And we are actually starting to use the help
about
desk.
our first info session, which is
I think that's
this coming Wednesday, October 4th.
So I pass it back
and
over
it's
to
being
you,
hosted
Ben.
by Coho BC,
and I just wanted to
our
say a little bit more about
wonderful and courageous
the pitching
real
to
estate
foundations, because there's a specific
and I'm
ask
excited to
involved in
see
that.
who
What we're
shows
going to
up
be
and
doing
how our
is
project is received and what
reaching out
questions people have.
to like Jen was saying, larger
to
foundations there, or actually maybe it was Ronnie. We're trying to reach out to people who may be able to back the project and give us some more time to be able to
what's in harvest time now, and so I'm
more
thoughtful
relational
about
work
how we
around
establish
getting
food
the,
sovereignty, like the right amount to
shareholders
grow, the right
online.
foods to grow, the right
So one of the things
conditions to
that
grow
we're
it, and for
interested
as many
in is
people
how
as
many
it's needed
people, how many
for.
shares
So
people would
I'm,
want to own if
I've been
money was
thoughtful
no
around
object
that.
and time was
So
no
I'll pass it
object.
on
If you
to
could
Roland.
actually pay for your shares over, say, a 10-year
What has my
period,
attention
and
at
if
the
you could also
moment
work
is
to earn your shares.
the beginning of a new month.
If if money right now was no object,
which
how
brings
much would you like to be
into
involved
relief,
in the Lifeboat Academy and the Spalding Valley Farm?
the
So
end
we're
of
going to be
October
reaching out
is
to everybody.
a,
If you're watching this, hopefully you're on our list, and we'll be sending you a request to say
I can't think
how
of the
many
word.
shares would you be interested in
Milestone.
if
a
money were no
milestone,
object,
thank you.
so that when we go to these larger
where,
foundations, we can say,
we're
look at the
assessing
community that we have behind us who are willing to put their
amount
heart and
of
soul into making this work.
people who signed on
in
to become
exchange for
shareholders
you being
or
the
in one
potential
way or
social
another.
mortgage holder,
And it
providing
also
that
brings
kind of
to
bridge
mind
funding.
that
So we'll be reaching out to you,
of
and likewise,
the
if you
property
if you
on
have any
Pender
personal
is
contacts
just one part
with any
of the Lifeboat Academy as a whole,
foundations who might be interested,
and that there are
so for us in the area,
all sorts of other
Vancouver
exciting
Foundation,
things that are
Victoria
happening
Foundation,
for the Lifeboat Academy.
the Van City
so
Foundation,
trying to keep that all in perspective.
any of the local sort of
and with that, I
Vancouver-based
pass
environmental
over to Ben.
funds. If you have any personal contact, what has my attention is we would love to get an introduction so that we can, broadly speaking, there's clearly a seasonal transition happening. I think sort of thing. Transition, so if you do have any personal contacts, please shoot us an email or stop by one of the outreach that we're doing. So we have a lot of we can arrange a lot of irons in the fire, like Roland said. I think that is it. But just to be sure, let's go. And then we also have people moving and coming and going. Anything else that you want to add? There's just all sorts of transitions happening, and trying to adopt.
I think that just about covers it. And
sort of Zen-like
thank you to the folks
curiosity
who watch these videos, and please share them with people that keep talking about what we're up to.
Go back to our slideshow and
can
give
hear
you
for
a quick
themselves
update
and get
on
involved.
what's happening
Over to
around
Jen.
here. So if this is the first time that you're stumbling on the Lifeboat Academy, just to bring you up to speed really quick, our goal is to build a fleet of interconnected lifeboats, or to support the building of a fleet of interconnected lifeboats. And for us, a lifeboat is a personal, place-based resilience network, leaning into the relationships and the people who are already in your life.
I'm good.
And
that was great.
Out how
Over
you
to
can
Ben.
work together for more mutual
I think
benefit
that's
and
it.
support in these turbulent
thank you all
times.
for watching.
And ultimately, we recognize that there are going to be our email, a lot of different lifeboats at lifeboat.academy, each developing for its own community. But how do we stay connected? You can also click the link in the description below to so see our visit our help desk, as we are question, and that also what we do in the face of climate crisis. Somebody, we're from the Lifeboat Academy. We're here to help. And so one of the big events, we'll say goodbye transitions, is that we had our stewardship council meeting. See you then. We were able to present our proposed ideas for what the focus for the next couple of and basically our support system for people who are expressing interest in the Lifeboat Academy or the farm. And of course, we still have our articles of incorporation to finalize. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Ronnie to talk a little bit about what we've been doing in terms of outreach and that work. Over to you, Ronnie.
Yeah, so we are easing into our second wave of outreach, which we're really focusing around the specific events that we have going on, both to invite people who might be interested into the project and to support people who are already involved. We're also putting more of a focus on reaching out to larger foundations and organizations that might have access to larger amounts of money to help us sort of secure the property in the short term, and then be able to sell shares more in a long-term kind of timeline. We also have our first info session scheduled, which, as I mentioned, it's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. And if you are on our email list, you will have received information about that. You can also follow us on social media, and we will be posting about that later today. And we have a couple other invites out to other folks who might be willing to host sessions for us. And if you're watching this and you'd be interested in hosting an info session for us with your networks, that would be really great. And there has been some forward progress on our website. We had a bit of a few weeks of a stall, and we're back in touch with our web designer, and we are making progress on finalizing the website and our site map as well. So lots of things are moving and grooving, and yeah. And back to Ben to talk about the Lifeboat Network and Regenerate Cascadia.
And I just wanted to add to that, if you are potentially interested in hosting an info session, it's really quite simple. We can do the presentation, we can host it as a Zoom call or in person if you happen to be near enough and that works for you. So we can take most of the work on. We just need you to connect us with your peeps who you think might be interested in what we're talking about. And so one of the things that has happened in the last week or so has been some change in plans around Regenerate Cascadia, basically just through sort of some mixed communication, some confusing communications, and some time limits. we've just decided that it doesn't make sense for us to host a stop on the Regenerate Cascadia tour, in part because I think we're finding that we're being a little bit more involved in some of the higher level planning, especially around thinking through a developmental evaluation and thinking through the online summit that's happening in early November. So we're still heavily involved in the project. We're still there helping to support it. But what our involvement looks like is changing a little bit. And likewise, Earth Regenerators, the story continues. Ronnie and I were able to host a navigation session of navigating via tensions as part of the Earth Regenerators Clearinghouse. And it was very, very warmly received. And we think that there's a number of opportunities for how we can support Earth Regenerators at this point. In a way, Earth Regenerators is a model of a lifeboat, and a different kind of a lifeboat, but still one that a lot of the tools and techniques that we're promoting would seem to help. We also have established our office hours and a new navigation schedule. Office hours are every day, Monday through Friday. Some are in the morning, some are in the afternoon, some are in the evening. And as part of our outreach, we're widely promoting when those office hours are. And they are an easy drop-in session. So if you have any questions, you want to chat about anything, you just want to touch base and see how things are going, please feel free to stop by our office hours. And likewise, our navigation sessions now, we're offering alternating every other week, Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific and Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. So we're excited to have those new navigation sessions posted. And we've done a whole wackadoo of adding more materials to our help desk and doing some more updating there or reformatting. And that's just going to be sort of an ongoing process. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Jen to talk about some comings and goings on the farm.
There's been some activity here at Spalding Valley Farm with some people coming and some people leaving. And Paul, who's been a long time resident here on the farm, has moved to be closer to his family. So we're wishing him well. His son helped get him off out there. And thanks to Jake and all the others who made that possible. I know it was a lot, and we really appreciate you. And then Sandra was here for a couple of weeks, and she completed her gumboot boot camp, which is part of our onboarding process for farmer caretakers or interns, and way of being able to see how we live and work together. And then Brandon also came for a visit. He's a new potential intern, and we're just in the midst of arranging for his visit on the farm to spend some more time with us. So we're looking forward to that. Over to Roland or the next person.
Right. So, one of the purposes of these weekly updates is to also let you know what we're going to be working on over the week. One of the things that we've already mentioned is actually reaching out to foundations. And for that, we are working on our pitch to be able to be clear in communicating to them. There's also something about clarifying what we mean by the sweat equity. And people who are looking to be on the farm and ways for them to be able to actually be part of the farm and work for their shares. And that has to do with social mortgage holders. The other thing is working towards scheduling and advertising more info sessions. So we're meeting with Coho, or we have an info session that is being hosted through Co-Housing BC. And there are a few other potential info sessions with other groups. So we'll be scheduling and advertising for those. continuing to work on the website. There are things that we have to provide our web designer, David. And we are also working on finalizing the physical site map that we've been developing with Poppy Punk Studios, who's got the greatest name ever. So our designer, Kelly Lowe. And with Paul's departure, Paul's been there for a while, and we have plans on how to use the area where his motorhome had been parked. And so there's cleaning up and preparing that spot for its next incarnation. And finally, continuing to do outreach to let people know about our office hours. That's been going fantastic. That people have been taking advantage of it, and we really appreciate it. And we encourage you to do so. There's also the new dates for the navigation sessions, so they're going to be they are ongoing, and we're getting closer and closer to having the help desk ready for sharing. And we are actually starting to use the help desk. And I think that's pretty much it for this week. So I pass back over to you, Ben.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say a little bit more about the pitching to foundations. Because there's a specific ask involved in that. What we're going to be doing is reaching out to, like Jen was saying, larger foundations. There are actually, maybe it was Ronnie. We're trying to reach out to people who may be able to back the project and give us some more time to be able to do more relational work around getting the shareholders online. So one of the things that we're interested in is how many shares people would want to own if money was no object and time was no object. If you could actually pay for your shares over, say, a 10-year mortgage period, and if you could also work to earn your shares. If money right now was no object, how much would you like to be involved in the Lifeboat Academy and the Spalding Valley Farm? So we're going to be reaching out to everybody. If you're watching this, hopefully you're on our list, and we'll be sending you a request to say, how many shares would you be interested in if money were no object? So that when we go to these larger foundations, we can say, look at the community that we have behind us who are willing to put their heart and soul into making this work. And in exchange for you being the potential social mortgage holder, providing that kind of bridge funding. So we'll be reaching out to you. And likewise, if you have any personal contacts with any of the kind of local foundations who might be interested. So for us in the area, it would be the Vancouver Foundation, the Victoria Foundation, the Van City Foundation, any of the local sort of Vancouver-based environmental funds. If you have any personal contacts with them, we would love to get an introduction so that we can skip some of the getting through the gatekeeper at the front desk sort of thing. So if you do have any personal contacts, please shoot us an email or stop by one of the office hours and let us know, and we can arrange for the introductions. And I think that is it. But just to make sure, let's go through the circle once more. And any other thoughts, anything else that you want to add? Ronnie, over to you.
I think that just about covers it. And a big thank you to the folks who watch these videos, and please share them with people that, if you've been talking about what we're up to, share these videos, and then people can hear for themselves and get involved. Over to Jen.
Our help desk is available to access, and there'll be a link for that in the video description. And we'd love to hear your feedback, your ease of finding the information, or if you're looking for something you don't find on there, then let us know so that we can make sure that we get you the right information and give you what you need. Over to Roland.
I'm good. That was great. Over to Ben.
Well, I think that's it then. Thank you all for watching, you know, keep in touch. Our email is simple, friends@lifeboat.academy. It's the easiest way to get in touch with us. Like Jen said, you can also click the link in the description below to visit our help desk, ask a question, and that also can connect you instantly with somebody. We're from the Lifeboat Academy. We're here to help. So I think with that, we'll say goodbye until next week and see you then.
Bye.